And tonight's Health Watch, an important lesson the women in one family learned about breast cancer.
It's about family history, screening, and surveillance. And as CBS2's Dr. Max Gomez tells us, all women are at risk for breast cancer, even if you test negative on a genetic test.
That's right. And, most of us have heard of BRCA, or the so-called breast cancer genes. Now, mutations in those genes put women at increased risk for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. But what if your BRCA test is negative, yet many of your relatives have breast cancer? What do you do then? They are four sisters relaxing on a carefree winter vacation. And in picture after picture, they look just as relaxed and happy. But underneath it all, they share a potentially life-threatening genetic issue. It came to light 27 years ago when Mom was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Myself and 5 others. There were 6 of us. Of the 6, 4 were all diagnosed and had to be treated for breast cancer.
Plus your mother.
Plus my mother.
With that family history, Priscilla was one of the first women to be tested for a BRCA gene mutation. It was negative. The director of the Dubin Breast Center at Mount Sinai says that's when many women think they or their daughters are in the clear.
A huge misconception that women who have a family history of breast cancer, that most of that is related to BRCA. And that's actually not the case. Most women, even with a family history, will not have any identifiable genetic mutation.
In other words, there was something genetic going on in this family. It just wasn't BRCA. Knowing her daughters were still at risk, they were all in an intensive surveillance program.
A little bit of an assumption that news would come one day, and certainly always believed that. And when my sister Melissa was diagnosed, not really surprised.
Meredith was diagnosed with breast cancer last August. Her sister Melissa 3 years ago. Both are fine thanks to very early detection because they knew they were at risk despite negative genetic tests. Now they want women to know that they are all at risk.
You must get checked. And you mustn't be afraid. Sometimes people are afraid. They don't want to know. They don't want to hear. And my point is, it's so important to know because that's what's going to save you.
Or as Mom put it,
treat yourself as though you are a BRCA family.
Right, and now so far the other 2 sisters have not been diagnosed with breast cancer, but they and all of Priscilla's granddaughters are at increased risk and they'll be monitored very closely. Take-home lesson here is, as Dr. Port put it, if you have breasts, you're at risk. Get regular mammograms because the earlier you find breast cancer, the better your chances. So that genetic test isn't the be-all and end-all.
No joke either.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Dr. Max. Coming up next on CBS2 and CBSN New York, our 24-hour streaming service, the CBS2 Consumer Alert. Food recalls becoming more common. What is behind the increase?
And the Recording Academy announces the first group of performers at this year's Grammy Awards. Find out who will be hitting the stage.
First, though, Dana's back with a look at the news at 6. Dana.
Hello. Tonight, Mayor de Blasio is sounding the alarm about the government shutdown.
That we are now entering nothing less than a full-blown crisis.
He talks about the massive effects on the people of New York City if the shutdown does not end. And musicians coming together to raise awareness about Parkinson's disease. Those stories and much more all on our news at 6 o'clock.